Oh, Zoom. Did you get it?
I did, yep.
Yay, we're recording. All right, guys. So we're here with one of our 3M clients, Rebecca. So thank you, Rebecca, for joining me on this video testimonial, just to give a little snapshot for other women out there on sort of your journey and the amazing things that you've accomplished and sort of just your journey really in general. I think that's inspiring for a lot of women to hear. So tell them, I always laugh at this part where I say, tell everyone the hats that you wear. So it's a little bit about yourself, mom, work, life, what you like to do, where you train, all that good stuff.
Sure. Yeah. So I'm a mom of two little ones. They're 6 and 9 now,
Yeah.
and a wife. I'm a boss at work. So I have a couple different teams of folks that I help support. And I am busy running the kids around after school with school. Sports and all the things that they're interested in doing, and also enjoy working out. I work out at Orange Theory, and yeah, so those are some of the things
Yeah.
that.
Is Orange Theory back in full swing now? Like, are they doing what it was before? Is it modified?
Yeah, no, they're fully back. So there's a little bit space in between classes, and they're not mingling in the lobby and things, but otherwise it's back to normal.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to read, with your permission, obviously,
Sure.
a bit of an email that you sent me. I don't know if it was last week or the week before, which literally put me in tears because it's just, I'm like, this is why I do what I do. And I'm just more proud of you because, and we're going to talk about where you were before, you sent this email and sort of what ahas you had in your journey. But you guys have to read this, or not read this, but hear this. So this was an email sent to me a couple of weeks from Rebecca, and she said, I went clothes shopping this weekend. You can just smile as I read this because it's kind of colorful. I went clothes shopping this weekend because so many of my fall clothes were way too big, and I'm now wearing a size jeans that I haven't been before kids, 2 sizes down. High five. And even tried another brand because you're like, maybe it's the brand. Most women have done that. They're like, have I worn them too much? Were they pre-washed? Like, is the sizing off, right? You've gotten compliments, which is amazing. And I love the compliments. You look really healthy. You look really strong. And that's what it's about. You're back to your Orange Theory, and you did a dri-tri, which sounds like the coolest thing ever, which was a 200-meter row, which I've been on an erg before with a former NCAA rower, and I know that's no joke. 300 body weight exercises and a 5K treadmill. That you did your fastest 5K from like a decade ago. Like, how did that for you to, like, I think the biggest win when I read that, besides all those little things, the clothes and the compliments and the feelings and going out of your comfort zone to do the dri-tri, was that you recognized it in yourself and you paused and said, okay, no, this is really good. And we had that conversation a couple months ago where you sort of paused and looked back and you're like, okay, I am down 20 pounds. I need to celebrate that. So high five, I'm just going to say to everyone out there, it's embarrassed, but it's amazing. But talk to us a little bit about what was going on before that. Because you've
Sure.
been at Orange Fury for a while, right?
Yeah, I had been. Yep.
Yep.
I had been there for probably a couple years, and I started there after coming off sort of my husband actually he has a pretty serious actually medical condition.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of things happening there, a lot of anxiety going on, and knew I needed to get back to the gym. But I wasn't, and I was going probably 4 to 5 times a week. And like Orange Theory is no joke in terms of a
Not.
hit
Yeah.
workout, but I wasn't losing any weight. In fact, I gained more weight the first few months that I was there. Um, which was super frustrating because I feel like I was busting my bum to like
Yeah.
lose this weight, and here I am like just bloating up with more weight. I did finally try intermittent fasting, and that
Yeah.
did produce some weight loss, but then I just stalled out.
Mm-hmm.
And then the pandemic was a thing, right? And so it's sort of like, well, something needs to give here. Um, then my mom passed away in December, and
Mm,
so that was sort of the tipping point to, like, oh, this is sort of a slap in the face to say, "Rebecca, like, if you want to live healthier, this is your wake up call. These are things that you need to do for yourself and for your own longevity and health for your own girls and your own family longer term." And so that was really a tipping point to say, I need to do something different. I
yeah.
don't know what that is. You get lost in the abyss of the interwebs and all the things, the contradicting advice, do this, don't do that. Intermittent fasting had stopped working for me. And, that was just like, well, it was basically just shaving off calories, right? In the
Hmm.
morning. Um, and so I needed something different. And I happened to see Moni's 3M, or I think it was just probably your main webpage,
Hmm.
and you mentioned something on there that if you want to help get rid of the fluff without like a program, I was like, ooh, she's my kind of gal, because she's using the term fluff, and I
Yeah.
really resonated with that. And so I'm actually in that January, following my mom's passing, I did the 3-day sugar challenge, and and that
Hmm.
was just something I did on my own. I think it was available for free on your website,
Hmm.
and had some really good success there. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is happening. This is easy. These are really great recipes, easy to follow. And so I'd kind of been reaching out and officially started the 3M. What was it, February or March? I
I
can't
think it was
remember.
around March, right?
Mhm.
Around March. And I think the biggest thing too that we recognized was that your mom was passing. Your mom did pass,
Yeah.
right? And the emotion and the stress, plus, like you said, wasn't it a time where in your job you were taking on two roles,
Yes.
right? And that was, and you had kids at home, right? They weren't in school,
Yeah.
and you're like, how do I fit this in? And then that's when we had an honest conversation saying, okay, not saying that intermittent fasting doesn't work, but there's all these other variables that we have to address as well for this and this to get into a state where your body naturally just releases the fluff because it doesn't want to, right? Because your Orange Theory going tough, and many women can relate to this. They're working out like crazy because we're all athletic. We have that drive to do it, right? We work out, we eat clean, but we feel like this is happening. And that's all survival, right? A survival. What do you feel? What are you most proud of? I talked about like what you said in your email, but what are you most proud of in your journey? And then we're going to talk about maybe like a big learning or something that you did. But what are you most proud of?
Well, certainly, like, I think what I'm most proud of is just how you feel better, right?
Yeah.
Bit better, and then you just feel better. And um, I would say letting go of some of the, like, stress around working out and what I'm eating or not eating, and
Mhm.
that I just let it go, right? And just sort of reprogram myself to know to do the things that are good for me, right?
Mhm.
Reframe the things that are working and not working in my own life. And I think it's the biggest change, which is really the mindset, and how I feel about myself. And like, I look back and I look at pictures and I'm just like, wow. But I'm not going to feel guilty about that. That's where I was then, and this is where I'm
Mhm.
at now. And so it's an opportunity to, um, just look at things differently, and notice more about why
Mhm.
I'm feeling a different way, and what's happening in my own body. And so I
Mhm.
feel more connected to what I need. Um,
Yes.
and being able to ask for what I need to. And that was a hard thing for me, because you feel like you always have to be in charge of everything, and you don't, right? Like, I don't need to do that. I can ask other people for help. And so that's been a shift too.
Yeah. It's release. It's a control thing.
Hmm.
Did you feel that it would be as much up here as it was? Or did
No,
you come into 3M thinking, okay, she's just going to give me this magic. She's going to tell me my nutrition pairing and she's going to tell me how to work out smarter and she's going to tell me, and then that's it. Did you realize how much up here it was? And
no, absolutely not. And it really
yeah,
is sort of a triangle, right? It's like,
yeah,
it is, nutrition, it is exercise, but it's also mindset, right?
yeah.
And that was sort of what was missing from part of what was missing from other things that, I think are out there. So,
Right. Right. And you learning the skills how to do it in your life. Like when you said to me, I'm doing the nail, which is what we use as an acronym in our 3M system for where we literally nab ourselves in situations, right? Or in thought patterns or thinking like, oh, I shouldn't have that, or I should be doing this. And that's and that comes with time. Like the reality is, okay, it's October. You sent me that email. We started working in February,
Mhm.
right? So we look at that timeline too, and the patience that we have to give ourselves. And we talked about this in Karen's interview too. The journey is never like this with the fluff loss, right? It's always like, and we learn on the way. We learn on the way. What do you think your biggest takeaway besides the mindset piece? Maybe something more tangible, do you think?
I think about feeling like I know what to eat and when,
Mm,
that will serve my body for what it needs, and listening to my body, and kind of pairing those things together has, I don't want to say help me feel in control, but like I have more knowledge about what different foods are
mhm,
for and what they are used for, to help support your body. And so, like, before this, I would have almost every day an slump, an energy slump, 2, 3 in the afternoon. I'd be yawning, I'd be in phone calls at work and just like
mhm.
hardly stay awake. And like I don't have days like that almost never, right? Like, right. So like on occasion,
Yep,
right, I still have those days maybe once a month, but I know why, right? It's because I
yep,
didn't sleep right. I maybe ate some bigger meal the night before or something that sort of,
mhm.
or kind of happening for myself. But at least and I don't feel guilty about it either, right? So that's the other thing,
Good.
like letting go of the guilt that sometimes comes along with not being good enough, not eating well enough, not working out enough, not whatever you want to sort of guilt yourself about. Just letting go of that. Just let it go.
Right. Just let it go. It's like
Yeah.
Frozen, let it go. Do
Yeah.
you feel deprived at all?
No, no, I almost feel like I'm eating more than I did before. So,
Yes.
but I'm eating the right foods for what my body needs at the right times too. So,
Yep. Intuitive energy. Well, my friend, that I'm beyond grateful. I'm beyond proud of you. I know I say that over and over and over again, but it's legit. You listened, you're coachable, you did the work, you asked the questions. Remember, you asked the questions, and that is key. That is key. So keep us in the loop. Tell us when you do your next dri-tri or whatever it's called, because that sounds crazy to me. That sounds hard, super hard. And within less than an hour, you did it.
yeah, yeah. I mean, a year ago I wouldn't have even like tried it, much less completed it within the hour, because you're supposed to start doing it within an hour. But I wasn't the fastest one, but like
Doesn't
that
matter.
doesn't matter to me. None of the like I don't compare myself anymore. It's sort of like I'm doing the best that I can do, and I know that my body can do things that are harder than what my mind maybe has led me to believe. And so like I've been pushing myself harder, but almost less often, if that makes sense, because I need
Yes.
time to restore and do. So I do more things like yoga and things too to intermix in there. So I don't feel like I'm working out more. Actually, I'm feeling like I'm working out less or like smarter when I work out. So
Yes. That's it.
mhm.
That's what it's all about. You're hired. Okay. So
Sounds good.
amazing. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing. Let's just leave it at that. Major high five. And thanks again. Thanks
Yeah.
again.
No. Thank you. Right.
Thank
This
you.
is really has been, life changing in lots of ways. So I appreciate it.
I love to hear that. I love to hear that. Thank you so much, Rebecca.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.